Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jody, and on my channel I talk about Broadway as well as books. And in today's video I will be continuing my Broadway show series, where I talk about every Broadway show I ever got to see. Over the 20 years I was getting to see Broadway shows on a regular basis. So as per usual with the series on my channel, I will go over who was in the cast of my performance, who was on the creative team, any favorite songs or moments I have from the show, how I like the show itself, and anything interesting I might find in the playbill along the way. So without any further ado, let's get on to today's show. So today I'll be talking about the 26th Broadway show I ever got to see, which was a stage adaptation of the film The Lion King. So I saw this show in October 2002 on a bus trip at the New Amsterdam Theater. And you might be thinking to yourself about now, if you're familiar with the current Broadway scene, Jody, The Lion King is not playing at the New Amsterdam Theater at this moment in time, and you would be right. Aladdin is currently playing at that theater at this moment in time. Although, when the show first premiered on Broadway, The Lion King did open up at the New Amsterdam Theater, it played there for about a decade before it transferred to the Minskoff Theater around 2007. And the reason for that is Disney moved The Lion King from the New Amsterdam Theater to the Minskoff Theater in 2007 to make way for the musical Mary Poppins. So that's a bit of a Broadway fun fact kind of story there for you. But yeah, The Lion King is currently playing at the Minskoff Theater, but when I saw the show, it was still playing at the New Amsterdam Theater. So now let's get on into what is in the playbill. So here's a page that lists everyone involved in The Lion King on Broadway. And here's the cast list, as well as the understudies. And then before I get to who was in the cast in my performance, I'll just share there was an understudy slip in the playbill. Someone was at the show that day, and someone else was going on in their place. And then there were a few performers joining the show as well at this moment in time, and I just thought I'd share this. Like I said, I saw the show, I saw a Saturday matinee on October 5th, 2002, so I just thought I'd share this as well. And so now I'll get on into who was in the cast and my performance. This playbill is set up a little differently when it comes to the headshots and the performers' biographies. I've only come across the setup that is in this playbill in one other show, playbill, and that was the revival in Cabaret in the early 2000s, and that's where the headshots of the performers in the show as well as the biographies are all together on the same page. And I really like the setup for that. It's something I rarely come across, but I actually preferred the setup like the biography and headshot situation. I prefer it. I think it's nicer. But yeah, I'll just get to the cast now. And I think that's it. Yeah, this is the moment in time in this series on my channel where I point out anyone's name, any performers' names who I recognize from having seen my other Broadway shows since I saw them in the show that I'm talking about at this moment in time. And, so I'll do that now. I did skim over the playbill slightly before I made this video to remind myself who I saw in the show, and there's only one performer whose name really stood out to me that I know for sure I saw them in another Broadway show after this, and yeah, I'll just get to that person now. And that would be Renee, I'm trying to find the page. Yeah, Renee Elise Goldsberry, she's right there in the playbill. Yeah, after I saw, she actually played Nala at my performance when I saw The Lion King. It was actually her Broadway debut, and which is super cool to realize that I got to see her in her very first Broadway show. But in 2005, I did see her in The Color Purple on Broadway, and then I would say most people these days would probably know her from being a part of the original cast of the Broadway show Hamilton. which she was nominated for a Tony Award, I believe. And yeah, I never got to see Hamilton on Broadway. I never got to see her in Hamilton on Broadway, but technically I did see her in Hamilton on Broadway. That's because Disney put the show up on their streaming service, Disney Plus. So technically I did get to see the original cast in Hamilton on Broadway because of that. And she was fantastic in that show. And it's just really cool to know that I got to see her in her very first Broadway show, because she's gone on to have such a successful career, and that's just super cool to learn. And now I'll just get on into who is on the creative team. Didn't have to look at my playbill to remind myself that Elton John wrote the music, and then Tim Rice wrote the lyrics. The only thing that I was pretty surprised to learn was I was aware that Julie Taymor directed the production. Didn't have to look at my playbill to remind myself of that, but I didn't realize that she did so much other things in the production as well. She did the costume design, and then she also did the mask and puppet design along with Michael Curry, and then, like I said, she directed the Lion King on Broadway as well, and that was just super cool to learn. I mean, I either knew that or I forgot it, but yeah, it's pretty cool. And now I'll get on to how I like the show, and yeah, I absolutely love the Lion King on Broadway. It was such a perfect stage adaptation of such a beloved film that we all know and love. And yeah, it was just such a great show. Like, every moment in it was fantastic. The show was amazing from start to end, and it's just a show that you very much remember after you see it. And the costumes were absolutely amazing. The choreography was wonderful. The set design was wonderful, and just it was such an innovative way to portray, the film on stage, and I really loved it. And as far as like my favorite number in the show, it probably is the opening number of the show, Circle of Life, when like the show, as we all know, there's many animals in the show, and the actors in the show portray these animals in like a puppeteering like style. And yeah, it was just a really innovative way to put on the show. And so the first number in the theater, down the aisles of the orchestra, from the back of the orchestra all the way to up on stage, the cast is walking through the whole theater, and you have like elephants and giraffes and like every animal you could possibly think of. And it's such a memorable moment in a show. It's one I have never forgotten. And yeah, this show is just so great. The score as well is so great. I'll get to the musical numbers in a moment. But yeah, if you have the chance to see The Lion King on Broadway, I highly recommend it. It's just one of the best shows I've ever seen on Broadway, and it's just such a great production. And yeah, it's still playing on Broadway, so you have the chance to see it if you get the chance to see a Broadway show, you know what I mean? But yeah, really great show. Highly recommend it, like I said. And now I'll get on to the musical numbers. So here are the musical numbers for Act 1 and Act 2. And yeah, I'll just go over some of my favorite numbers in the show, because they are all so wonderful. Circle of Life, like I said, that's the opening number. That's my favorite number in the show by far. And then I Just Can't Wait to Be King. Hakuna Matata, a classic. They Live in You. Can You Feel the Love Tonight? King of Pride Rock. And then Circle of Life is also reprised as well at the end of the show. Yeah, just an absolutely amazing score. Elton John and Tim Rice did just such a fantastic job with all the songs in the show. It's like they're songs that, you just remember, and they're just also wonderful and beautiful and fantastic, like I said. So now I'll get on to anything interesting in the playbill. So, like I said, I saw the show in October 2002. It's listed right there. And then there's an article in here about the choreography from the show. Like I said, the choreography is just so amazing, just so wonderfully done. And then this is actually a production photo from the Circle of Life the Circle of Life, the opening number, Circle of Life, which I just mentioned. It's just like it's one of the best opening numbers from a show I've ever seen on Broadway. Oh, so good. Still to this day, I remember that number. It's just so like it's very much iconic. But yeah, really great number. Just so well done and so creative, and the way they put that together for the show. Oh, okay. The article continues on another page, but I just thought I'd share this advertisement for Aida. This was a Disney production as well. I did get to see this show, and I absolutely loved it. I talked about this show a few shows ago in this series, but yeah, really great show. Yeah, the article continues. Here's a production photo from Can You Feel the Love Tonight? And then another production photo from I Just Can't Wait to Be King. The article continues about the choreography as well. And I think that might be the last page of the article. Yeah. So another thing I'll share is the New Amsterdam Theater. I guess before The Lion King opened up there, the theater had been closed for quite some time, and I wasn't aware of that. And I always love hearing about a good renovation story when it comes to Broadway theaters, because you want to feel comfortable when you go down to sit in your seat, and so I love hearing about a good renovation story. And the theater, I guess it took 2 years to restore the theater, to renovate the theater, and The Lion King was the first show to open at the theater after the restoration, the renovation, and that was just super cool to learn because I was not aware of that. And so I just thought I'd share this little thing in here about the theater. They have some before and after pictures. So that's pretty cool to learn. I wasn't aware of that. And then I think that's it as far as anything interesting. Oh, wait, there's one more thing. At the time, a TV show called Theater Talk was still on PBS. I absolutely love that show. It was basically like a talk show, but just for Broadway and theater. And it was one of my favorite shows. It's not on TV anymore, but just thought I'd share that little advertisement. Oh yeah, there is a bit of a like a small little kind of fun story, probably unnecessary. Moment memory from the show. So when I saw the show, like I said, it was still playing at the New Amsterdam Theater, and I remember there was like a Disney store like inside the theater, like next to the theater, if you will. I think you could only get into that Disney store if you were seeing the show. Like it wasn't just like a normal store in that sense. You had to be seeing it was more like a merchandise setup for the show, and maybe more Disney productions as well. But yeah, I don't think that is there anymore at the New Amsterdam Theater, and just like a nice little memory, I guess, for me. But I get there's obviously a Disney store in Times Square now, but they had like a little mini Disney store just for probably Broadway merchandise, like for this show as well as the other Disney shows at the moment in time there. And I just thought that was pretty cool because I don't think that exists anymore at that theater. And normally this is the point of the video where I go over what show I'm going to see next. And usually there's all the listings for every show that's playing on Broadway at this moment in time in the playbills, but this playbill does not have that. So I'll just say now what the next show I will be talking about is in the series. So my 27th Broadway show that I ever got to see on Broadway was the Broadway revival of Flower Drum Song. And yes, so that'll be the next show I talk about in the series, so be sure to stay tuned for that. And I just want to say, thank you so much for continuing to watch this series, and especially thank you so much for watching today's video where I talked about my 26th Broadway show, The Lion King, which I really, really loved, and I highly recommend. If you get the chance to see it on Broadway, I highly recommend it because it's such a wonderful and fantastic show. You'll have a great time. It's just, I loved it so much. So yeah, thanks so much for continuing to watch this Broadway show series of mine where I go over all the Broadway shows I got to see over the 20 years I was seeing Broadway shows on a regular basis. So, as always, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye.